He says, just as in present day society, slaves were conditioned to believe that by advancing the interests of the master in white society, they were advancing the interests of slaves collectively or themselves as individuals. So typically, when there are black people who say, okay, white people have done us wrong or they owe us money or whatever, there's always black people who say, don't say that. Don't say that, you're going to get in trouble or whatever. Or you can express things as long as you don't speak negatively of the people whose interest that you need, whose support you need in order for you to achieve whatever goal that you want to achieve. Okay, so during the post-Civil War period, millions of newly freed black people, for the first time, focused on being black and coming together in a sense of oneness. So after the Civil War, they said, okay, we're all in this together. Let's figure this out. They could see the world through the eyes of a black consciousness instead of through the eyes of the slaveholders' whiteness. They began transforming their lives from usable property into exceptional human beings with special gifts. They used their new sense of group oneness. Now, pay attention now. This is after slavery. They used their new sense of group oneness to build churches, schools, businesses, newspapers, social organizations, banks, insurance companies, funeral homes, and burial associations, broom factories, mattress factories, movie theaters, factories for black hair care products, and independent communities. It was within these quasi communities that blacks successfully stored their history, culture, pride, and businesses. An unintended result of Jim Crow segregation was that it forced blacks to do what they should have done normally, and they owned and operated more businesses during segregation than they have under the illusion of social integration. So, what is being said here, in my opinion, is that your answer to how to move forward in the future lies in your past. You have to go back to your great grandparents and the fact that I think that they hadn't bought into the illusions that we bought into as much as we have, right? They didn't believe that going to college and going $100,000 in debt was going to guarantee you this wonderful life. They didn't fall for some of the illusions that we fall for. So I think that looking back at life before integration gives us a lot of clues on how to move forward with power in the next generation. I can tell you just from a wealth standpoint, it's not that hard. I don't know what the average wealth of an American family is. I want to say it's about 178,000. I think that's the median wealth level. That's not a hard level to achieve. That's not a big number, actually. It's very easy to achieve that much wealth. You just have to plan. You have to invest. If you invest consistently, then it works out just fine. So just implementation of investor culture can go a very long way in shaping our destiny. But then at the same time, there must be some commitment to institutional control because institutions shape little things like the values of your children. If you're sending them all to the same public schools that are teaching them the same stuff as everybody else, then they're going to be programmed to pursue somebody else's agenda. Unfortunately, even universities are, you know, they're kind of indoctrination factories for certain ideas, right? And so institutional control is extremely important to maintain some sort of cultural authenticity, whatever you want that to be. I think that's why the Jewish community, I think that's why they send their kids to Hebrew school because they're like, we want you to be in the world, but not of it. And so, what's the black equivalent to Hebrew school? Who knows? Sorry, guys. I'm choking a little bit. Maybe the black business school could be something like that, right? Because here we talk about black economics every Wednesday night for free. We do Powernomics training. So you're getting almost like a black equivalent of Hebrew school by coming in here and learning all the stuff that Dr. Claude Anderson teaches. We do financial consciousness training every morning. And so really from a problem solving standpoint, we can do all these things ourselves. I think we just have to believe that we're capable of doing them. We can do all these things ourselves. We just have to understand that we don't have to raise $1 billion to get it done. Um, we can do all these things ourselves. We just have to understand that we have a lot of experts in our community too. Do you know how many black people there are that can do stuff, that have skills and degrees and certifications and you know, so we got everything we need. I think that what what I want you to really understand though is that there's a certain level of consciousness and confidence that creators have, that initiators have, whether you're talking about a founder of a company or an inventor or someone who starts an organization, they have to have the ability to see a vision and really have the courage and the capability of committing to the vision. Because if you're not, if you're distracted from the vision, then you can't really pour into the vision at a level that's required to keep the vision alive. Because in the beginning, your vision's kind of on life support. It sometimes it may take everything you've got to just keep that sucker moving, all of your attention, all of your focus, all of your energy. So if your focus is distracted, then that vision, there's a good chance that vision's going to die. I know a really talented young lady who I advised her on some stuff that I thought she could do, and in a business I thought she could create. And what would happen is that her business, she would work on it, she would do really great. It would start kind of taking off, but then she'd run into some rocky times. And then next thing you know, she called me and say, "Hey, I decided to go back to work." And I'm like, "Oh, what are you doing back at work? You're going back to work?" Well, the mortgage was due, and and I get that, right? I totally understand that. But then what would happen is when she goes back to work, guess what? Her boss is now draining her almost like a blood vessel, like a fibroid or something. Her boss is draining her energy and her time. And guess what? As the job is going fine, the business starts to go do. And then 2 years later, she's starting from zero again. And then same thing. She go out and do it, and it goes really well. And then times get tough, and then she go like I had to go back to work as a so what I ended up telling her was I said, I think you're gonna have to make a choice. I say fibroid because I remember one of my friends had a fibroid and she said that it was draining blood out of the fibroids are terrible. If you